What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Travis. This is TWA Motorsports, and today we are going to be talking about my lift behind me. Now, I've been getting a ton of questions from people asking, how tall is your ceiling? How much did you pay for the lift? How big is your garage? And so today we're going to address every single one of those questions. And basically, I'm going to go through how much I paid for it, what the actual size of my garage is, and it's just a standard two-car garage. So you're going to see that it can fit in a two-car garage with a mediocre size ceiling. It'll fit in other ones, but we'll talk about that here in just a second. So what I have done is I have drawn out a kind of scale of my garage with sizes and prices and everything that you're going to need to know if you want to put one of these in your shop or garage, okay? I absolutely love this thing. Now, I bought it just for mainly parking, but it does come in handy when you're needing to get under something. Most of my things I do outside. You guys have seen that, and to be quite honest with you, I just feel kind of cramped when I'm in the garage sometimes, so I like to do a lot of things outside. But it does come in handy for like oil changes and obviously when I'm putting the headers on the car. But I wanted to make this video a long time ago, but it's been so nasty in the garage. I've had parts strung out everywhere, and I wanted to kind of clean things up, and it's probably well, I mean, I've still got parts for the Trans Am, but it's probably about as clean as it's going to get. So let's get to what exactly I have here. So this, guys, is a bin pack. It is an HD9, and I will post a picture of this so you guys can see this a little closer at the end of the video. But it is an HD9 from bin pack, and I went back and forth on which lift I should buy. And ultimately, the reason I chose a bin pack lift over several of the others that are out there was it has airlocks. Now, the other lift manufacturers, they have a manual lever here to unlock your locks, because once you lift this thing up, when it comes back down, it sets on a lock, obviously for safety reasons, and it has a lever here, and I just didn't care for that. Now, a lot of people choose to go away from the bin pack because it has airlocks, but personally, I actually like that. You just have to run an air hose to it, and it runs right here. That's how you unlock it, is this button right here once the air is plugged into it. The other reason I went with a bin pack is I was able to get a 110 motor. So the motor on this thing is a 110, so it just plugs in right here to a regular outlet. Now, there is a little bit of lift difference between like a 220 plug and the 110 plug. It's about 20 seconds, I believe, the difference in lift time, but I'm not in a hurry to lift anything. So to me, I like the fact that I didn't have to drop another line in my garage, because I do not have a 220 plug in my garage, nor did I want to drop one. And this can be ran by a really small compressor. You don't have to have a big compressor. Mine's just a 30-gallon, and it is a 110 on my compressor as well. So you don't have to have something big. A small compressor will run this, guys. Other than that, the main reason for the bin pack is the certification. Now, a lot of people say that their lifts are certified, and this lift is actually certified by ALI, and you'll see these stickers all over the bin pack lift, and they really rate these things higher than what they actually should be rated for. Now, mine's rated for 9,000 pounds, hence the HD9. That's what the 9 stands for. But to be quite honest with you, they rate these things way over that, and I will never have anything that weighs 9,000 pounds. So to get to what I had to do and kind of the sizes and dimensions of my garage, I have a 10-foot ceiling. Now, my concrete floor kind of slopes as it goes out. So at the very entry or the very back side of my garage back here, it is 10 foot from the floor to the ceiling. And then it tapers to just almost 10.5 on this side. So it does have a little bit of drop as far as the garage goes, but when I first bought this house, it had a garage door opener in the center. So I'm going to move on to kind of some of the stuff I had to do before I put this in. It had the garage door opener in the center. You can still see the rail there, and I had to do what they call a jack shaft opener. So that is mounted to the wall, and it actually rolls up on this side as opposed to having all that mess in the center. The other thing I had to do is my garage door kind of went up, and I could almost touch it when it was up. Now, that would have worked, but I wouldn't have been able to open the garage door with a car on the lift, and I didn't want to mess with that. So had a company come out, and I will list all these parts down below, guys, that I'm using. So the lift, I'll list in the description with the link, as well as the opener. But the opener was around $450, and I think they charged me $300 to install it, and that was including lifting my garage door up so it went closer to the ceiling. So I've never had any issues. Obviously, it would be better if I had maybe a 12 or a 14-foot ceiling, but like I said, this is about a 10-foot, you might as well say 10-foot 2 average across the whole ceiling. So makes it really nice. As you can see, I have 2 cars. Now, will a truck fit on top of this? Yes, you could put a truck on top and probably a Corvette on the bottom or something that was a lower profile, but you're not going to be able to get 2 trucks in with a 10-foot ceiling. Now, obviously, if you had a bigger ceiling, you could go up higher with a lift. But as far as floor size, guys, it is a pretty standard 2-car garage. So it is 21.6 by 20.6. So basically from side to side here, it is a little over 20 feet. And then from the front to the back, and that is including the garage door opening all the way to the back of the garage, it is 21 feet. So obviously it's a pretty standard garage. I don't understand why this is standard, because to me they should make them a little bit wider, but that's what I had to deal with. The other things I put on here is kind of my placement within the garage. So I wanted to be able to put the garage, or still be able to use this side if I wanted to put a car in it. Now, obviously, as you can see, the golf cart, the Ruckus, and parts are on this side right now, but I can still get a car on both sides. I'm able to get in here and pull up against the wall. So it is almost dead centered in the garage. Now, the other thing you have to take into consideration is your garage door opening. Now, I have a 16-foot garage door opening, and I wanted to kind of offset, and I'll actually go to the other side to show you that, but I had to offset the lift a little bit in order to, so you can see the post is here, and I wanted the ramp to be dead even when you're going out the garage. So you can see when you're looking down, I have about 6 inches or so where the ramp, or the ramps for the actual lift itself, are over. So the other thing I wanted to be able to do is, if I wanted to leave, I generally take them off because they hang down so much, but the approach ramps, so that go here, I wanted those to be able to set all the way down and still be able to close the garage if I wanted to. So that's the purpose of it being set back where it is. So it is exactly enough room with the ramp on, the yellow ramps that you see over there on the floor. With those on, the garage door can be shut. So if you wanted to leave those on, you could. It's really simple to take them off. You just have to slide this pin out, pull them out of the way, and they do hang quite a bit. And so to get another car underneath it, I could probably come up a little bit more and still get the Corvette under, but if you wanted a taller car, obviously you would have to be taking those off. But like I said, at the end of the video, I'll post a picture of this because it shows I have 18 inches of clearance between the wall and the post that's closest to the wall. And then you have a couple options with the motor. I could have put the motor on this side, but I chose to have it closer to the other side. Obviously, it's closer to the outlet when it's, you know, if I would have put it out here, I would have had to run an extension cord every time I wanted to use it. So obviously that didn't make much sense, and I had enough room back there in the back. But aside from that, the only other options that I got with the actual lift were some drip trays. And believe me, guys, those come in really handy because you don't want stuff dripping on the car that you have below it. This car doesn't really leak any anymore. Now, it did before, but it's nice to have, even when you're working on something, if you spill something, it catches it all within those trays, and they do move back and forth. And there's tons of accessories. You can see they slide back and forth, but there are a ton of accessories that you guys can buy for these. Now, one of the things that I have always wanted is the jack. So they make a rolling jack platform that sets on these little trays on the inside, and you're able to roll that back and forth. Now, that's a $1,500 option, and it's just something that I haven't purchased. I would like to, because when you get that, that really gives you the ability to do wheels and tires. It kind of almost turns it into a two-post lift at that point as far as suspension goes. Now, you're still not going to be able to get a ton of stuff out of the way. A two-post lift requires some more concrete work, and we'll talk about that as well, why I chose a two-post over the four-post. But ultimately, I'm really happy with my purchase. But this lift itself cost me $3,250 shipped to my door. Now, you do have the option to have them come out and assemble it, or you guys can hire somebody. This is something that it did take It took me and my dad lifting it off of the trailer. We were able to get it off the trailer, but there was no way we could set it up by ourselves. So the people that helped me put the garage door, or actually did the garage door, there was 3 of them, and with me we were able to lift these decks or ramps into place. That is the hardest part. The rest of it I did by myself. I was able to hook all this up, the main structure, this portion here. I did all of that by myself, and I was able to stand those up by myself, but these are ridiculously heavy. It literally took 4 guys to set these into place. Now, I did try to use my engine hoist, and if you had 2 people, you probably could do it that way, because it takes 2 people to roll one of these over, and they were upside down. So I just couldn't get them up by myself, and so that was the biggest chore when I was putting this in, other than placement. The other thing, guys, I did bolt it to the floor. I chose to bolt it to the floor, and there's a couple reasons. For one, I wanted to put some spacers on the bottom side because, as I said, my garage floor slopes going out. So I went to a local metal place. I had them cut some plates, and I put those in, and then I drilled the concrete and actually bolted it. The first time I put it up without the bolts in it, it wasn't super wobbly, but it was wobbly enough where it just bothered me, and I wanted it bolted to the floor. These things are really safe when you bolt them to the floor, and you do not have to do that. They actually, another option that comes with these, and that's what this hole is for, is you can put casters on them, so you can actually roll them around. Now, you're not supposed to do that with a car, but you're able to roll them around and put them in different spots. Ultimately, that's what I thought I was going to do, but because my garage floor is sloped so much, it just wasn't in the cards. So I think I've covered just about everything. Oh, the 2-post versus 4-post. So 4-post lifts, guys, they do not require a whole lot of options and concrete work. So pretty much your standard garage floor, which is generally about 4 inches thick where I live in Missouri. 4-inch thick is pretty standard. Now this floor is about 5 inches thick, but when you go to a 2-post lift, you need way thicker concrete because all of that weight is supported in that section, whereas the 4-post obviously has 2 more posts. So the only way I could have put a 2-post lift in here was I would have had to cut out everything and had the concrete dug out about 12 inches down or more, and I would have had to key it with the other concrete, and that's just not something I wanted to do. The other thing is a 2-post lift requires a little more ceiling height, so I did not want to do that. And there are some cheaper options out there as far as 2-posts that are like temporary use, and I didn't like those options either. So ultimately, for storage reasons, the 4-post worked better for me, and the 2-post is more for somebody that wants to work on something and then get it off the lift. It's really not a storage type lift. But I think that's pretty much it, guys. I think I've covered everything that I could possibly cover. The cost of the lift, the size of my garage, and absolutely you can put one of these in a standard garage. Like I said, if you had an 8-foot or a 9-foot ceiling, you could still put one in, but you obviously couldn't get the lift up as high. But it does help a lot if you're cleaning or doing anything under the car. A lot of times I won't put it up all the way, and I will use my little chair here to roll around underneath, which makes it very, very easy to access, like I said, for oil changes and whatnot. I'm pretty sure I do a majority of my oil changes here. Well, I say that I do a lot outside. But guys, if you like this video, if it was informative, please smash that thumbs up button. Like always, if you not subscribed, go down there, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you ring that bell icon. That way you're notified every single time we drop a new video. And if you have any questions about the lift, about any of the things that I'm doing, guys, I absolutely love it. Hit the comments. Let me know if you have any questions. And, well, I can't think of anything else that I did not cover on that. If you do come up with something, make sure you hit that comment section and let me know. I will, like I said, post a clip of the, or a picture of what I've drawn here. But stay tuned, see what we do next.